with more and more parents choosing to consider homeschooling, either because the school has shut down or they just choose to utilize this time to build a better connection with the kids and the new paradigm of thinking. So if that's you, you're in the right place. This is not the standard homeschooling video on what to teach, what app to use. In the first 2 videos, we've covered the ever-changing paradigm of what homeschooling really is. It's really the kids schooling us as parents. But in reality, it's actually us holding hand to hand and walking this journey of life together as a family and how it's supposed to be. And remember, there is no imperfection. There is always perfection in the imperfection of how you train your kids. So it's not about the right way or the wrong way. It's just the loving way. So today we're going to extend more about unschooling. Unschooling to me is kind of training free-range kids, which means completely unstructured. Now, some people call it lunacy. How can you just let your children run around unguided? That's being irresponsible, parents. But remember, in the first 2 videos I covered, kids learn from how you are, less from what you say. If we are concerned of how we live our lives based on other people's perception or judgment of whether we're doing things good or bad, right or wrong, then we're teaching our kids to be making the future life decision based on other people's opinion. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that being ignorant of what's happening outside and just be self-obsessed. That's the difference. When you become self-aware, you have this gut, this intuition of what is best for you and for your kids based on your unique relationship and life circumstances. Everyone is different. Everyone's life is different. Every family dynamics is different. Who are others to judge you based on your circumstances on what is best? And who knows? Some kids, they have a rough upbringing, they end up being the biggest gift. And conversely, some people has a perfect upbringing, loving parents, but end up because they've never felt the grass is greener on the other side, they end up flipping the other side and committing crime and other stuff. Obviously, there are still kids that didn't have a good upbringing and end up committing crimes, and kids that have a perfect upbringing end up doing very well for themselves as well and for others. But my whole concept is, who knows? We're not fortune tellers. We don't know what will happen and what is the perfect plan of the universe or for God. We are not fortune tellers, so I can't tell you what is best. All we can judge in this moment. And if you want to go logical, there's a lot of group research that advocates for unschooling, providing the right environment. Now, any environment can work, but for me, the most ideal unschooling environments is you limit certain things that has a high probability of derailing them from role modeling the lives that you want them to model. For example, if you don't want them to take drugs and you put drugs in front of them, if you don't want them to be obsessed with just playing games all day and you're playing games in front of them, if you don't want them to be glued to their phone but you give them unlimited access to the smart devices, then you're making it difficult for them. There are some cases that they get tired of playing games or being on the phone. They prefer to be doing something else. But the way that I looked at unschooling, one of the biggest gifts in learning is less about them, it's about you. For much of our lives or society's conditioning is that we should control. We should control our kids, we should control ourselves, we should control everything in our life. We want certainty. Even in the current pandemic of the coronavirus, people say, well, how long is this going to last? Well, it's already been said numerous times. Nobody knows. And even if one country behaves in a certain way, doesn't mean that your country or your city is going to behave the exact same fashion. But yeah, people say, how long is this going to last? What happens if this? What happens with that? Yes, we understand. Everyone wants to have certainty. But in the times of uncertainty, which is this moment, in homeschooling your kids, what are you trying to teach them? Hey, you know what? We're going to teach you that a set timetable every single day, maths in 9 o'clock in the morning, English at 10, or you're going to teach them about life. In the current crisis that's going on, or opportunity, nothing is certain, nothing is set, everything is fluid. We just react and anticipate as best that we can, moments by moment. And so by unschooling, You actually teach them life. Every moment you have to self-assess. Do you want to play all day? Or do you want to have certain structure, self-discipline structure? When you first start, you can consider putting certain framework in place. Okay, each day you allow X number of minutes on your devices, but only after you've done A, B, and C. Those framework can be very tight to begin with, or could be very loose. Because certain people thrive on structure, and certain kids detest structure. That's why unschooling is great. You get to monitor, you get to observe. The kids are structured, why not guide them to create that structure themselves? The kids that's fluid, that prefers fluidity over structure, why not give them that freedom to explore, but guide them how to go in the flow of life, go in the flow of the universe, follow the passion. Just look at Billie Eilish. She's a young singer at just the age of 18, have just won 5 Grammy Awards, beating a lot of seasoned veterans in the industries. These are the 5 major awards. And one of the major reasons she can do this is her parents allow her to be unstructured in her learning, allow her to dedicate her time to pursuing her own passion, which is music. Imagine if she had been confined to only work on music 2 hours a day, and the rest of her time she had to spend on other topics. Would she have excelled in the same level of standard? No way! We all know that excellence comes with spending time perfecting your art. And because of this, her songs are now inspiring millions and millions of people around the world. She's homeschooling, and because she allowed to follow her passion more hours than the regular kid that may only have 2 hours of music time and have to spend the rest on maths, English, physics, and whatever, then she get to excel. She get to inspire other kids. She get to inspire the world. So that's unschooling for you. If you give them resources around them that's educational, whether it's watching YouTube educational stuff, apps that's educational, books that's educational, videos that's educational, some people say an hour of spending time with an adult is equivalent to 1 whole day of learning at school. Some of the life lessons that you can learn. I go back to part 1 of the series that I talked about what is important for you in your life and for your kids. Is it for them to be the best in maths, in calculus, in trigonometry, in algebra? Or is it important for them to be the most kind person that they can be, the most loving person in that moment they can be, the most forgiving person, the most caring person, the most humility that they can be in every single present moment? So when you understand that, you give them freedom to be, to play, instead of very rigid. Go do this now, go do that now. You're teaching them that life, you need to be self-disciplined. You are responsible for your own lives. You're also responsible for the own consequences of your own decisions and your actions. We're teaching them to be self-governing and taking ownership of their life. This is huge. A lot of kids I interview, when they first finish graduating from university, they may have ticked all the boxes intellectually and earned the degree, but emotional quotient, EQ, and spiritual quotient, SQ, is extremely low. What is life about? What am I about? Why am I here on this planet? Am I here just to work many hours of my life and then go on a holiday every so often? Or is there a greater purpose for me to serve humanity, for me to discover myself, for me to find my true passion and my true joy, for me to find love within and spread out to those without? This is our opportunity to give our kids a chance to be free range. And in the next video, I'm gonna talk about cosmic schooling. This goes beyond this just physical dimension of doing. It's about being. It's about connecting to your high intelligence. It's about connecting to your superconscious. Most school I know is not teaching this, but they have the opportunity to tap into the internet. A lot of wisdom out there. They have the opportunity and the space to tap into the wisdom within. We've all got it. If you're still listening to this video right now and watching it, in some part of you is resonating in your gut, in your heart. You know that this is the truth. And this content was shared with you, was drawn to you, because when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So click the like, subscribe button, comment, and stay tuned for the next video.